Welcome to Exploring the Paranormal. Hosted by Heather Lee, PhD, Exploring the Paranormal offers a new, fresh look into paranormal research. Join Heather as she discusses some of the many haunted locations worldwide, discusses why these locations are haunted, hear from paranormal researchers about their personal experiences at these locations. Additionally, Heather takes a journey into the science behind the paranormal, discussing topics such as thermodynamics and the Heisenberg principle and how they both affect paranormal activity. Now, your host of Exploring the Paranormal, Dr. Heather Lee.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's show. I am super excited to be here on a Tuesday morning. Just was checking the radar real quick, and keep your fingers crossed. There are no storms supposed to be rolling through today, so hopefully I have smooth sailing internet from here until the end of the show, which I truly hope happens because my guest today, he's fantastic. Absolutely love Howard. If you guys don't know who he is, Howard Pitre, he's been in the field forever, it seems, just like I have, and amazing guy. Him and his team are hosting Fear Fest out of New Orleans. So we're going to be talking about that. We'll be talking about his nonprofit that he has, exactly what it is, how you guys can contribute to that, and all the amazing things that his team, and you've probably seen him all over Paralanx and Paranormal United Network. He hosts several shows, produces several shows on that network as well. So it's going to be a fantastic show to learn more about what he's doing and what he has planned in the future. So when you guys get here, say hi. I see Lee's already joining in. Good morning, Lee. Hope you're doing well. Let us know. I'm trying to think of what question of the day should I have today. I usually have this prepared. Usually I ask what state you're from or what country you're from, but I think today I want to know if you guys are paranormal investigators, what is your favorite piece of equipment that you use? And if you're not a paranormal investigator, what type of equipment would you like to try? I'm kind of interested to see what the answers out there today are. If you're watching the replay, still go ahead and answer that question because I'm always kind of curious to see what people have to say about that, because as you guys know, I'm more of a non-tech girl, so I use everything from dowsing rods to pendulums and all of those type of tools. And going along with that, if you guys missed it, make sure you check out Ghost Education 101's YouTube channel, because we had an amazing show last week with the board of directors from the Talking Board Historical Society, and we talked about a whole bunch of different things on collecting Ouija boards, including the oldest Ouija board, the history of the board, and all of that stuff. So that was an amazing show. I will also be making sure I share that link on my Facebook page, Exploring the Paranormal Show, so you guys can watch that replay, because that is definitely one that needs to be watched. So I'm super excited. Hello, Mort. Thank you for joining today. Super excited to have everyone here. And I'm just going to go over a few of the typical things that I start the beginning of every show with. So if you're new to the show, welcome. If you're a returning listener or a viewer, super excited to have you back. I know this show wouldn't be what it is if you guys were not here asking questions and whatnot. And also feel free if you have any questions to ask. I always love that. Cat balls, because my cat boys Tristan and Rocket want to play with them. Yes. And I always find it funny whenever, I know that's what they're called cat balls, but for those of you who've watched Ghost Education 101, my co-host Philip, for some reason he always cringes whenever they call them cat balls. He's like, they're spirit balls. And Philip, if you're watching, I know I'm picking on you, but yeah, so when you're using them for that's how you just determine if it's a cat toy or a paranormal investigation tool. But anyway, just kind of having some fun there. But yeah, I haven't used the spirit balls or the cat balls on an investigation, but you guys know I've used fidget spinners, so just about anything can work to. Yes, dowsing rods. I love my dowsing rods. I don't have them with me either, but you guys need to check out Doodlebug Dowsing. That just reminded me of that. They are here locally in Florida. Amazing people who own it. They hand make all of their dowsing rods. They also, and no, this isn't a sponsor. They're not a sponsor, but I love promoting anything that I love, and I use mine religiously. Mine are pink and white. You can get the handles custom made to any color you want. They have sports teams. They have like skull beads, a whole bunch of different fun things. So check them out. Doodlebug Dowsing, absolutely a great company, and great people to work with. I know they've worked closely with my friend Larry Lawson over in the Vero Beach area, and I've talked to them a couple times, and they are great. Doodlebug Dowsing, like dowsing rods. So just check them out. Let me get the link real quick for you guys. It's just doodlebugdowsing.com. I will put that in the chat for you guys all to see. But yeah, I love supporting local businesses, and their rods are great. They're easy to handle, easy to hold, and just perfect. And they're only showing up. Todd, if you get a chance, can you share that to the other channels? Because it looks like it's only showing up on the ones that I linked to. And that way you guys can get there. There we go. It's starting to pop up. So yeah, check them out. They are great. Actually, next week, I'll make sure, not next week, I have an announcement to make for that, but I will make sure the next time I'm live that I will bring my dowsing rods with me to show you guys, so you can get a closer look at them. They're affordable. That's what I loved about them. Okay, so real quick, moving on to the typical topics that we talk about. And I'm getting there slowly but surely. Actually, before we get going, the one thing I did want to say is I had talked about just a few moments ago about how I won't be here next week. Next week, I have some training I have to do. And so I'm not, show next week is going to be canceled. So those of you who are looking to have Philomena Thomas back on the show, she's the one who does the Hatman Project, the RH Negative Nexus, and also I'm drawing a blank on her other thing that she does. But she is an amazing researcher, doing great putting all of these things together. A lot of things have happened in her organization. So instead of, she was more than happy to move her show since I have my training. And we have rescheduled her for a 2-part episode. October 24th and Halloween will be part 2. So make sure you guys mark your calendars for that. And then also to let you guys know what we have coming up on August 8th, I have paranormal researcher Steph Nina Bradley coming on the show. August 15th, we have Paranormal Experiences by Non-Paranormal Investigators. So Lee will be on, and it's Lee's birthday. So make sure we remember that. And also T.E. MacArthur will be on the show. August 22nd, I have Nicole Ray, who is a psychic, coming back on the show. August 29th, Barnaby Jones will be talking about cryptozoology. On September 5th, I have Sin Schrader Hill. September 12th, this one I am looking forward to. I have Jeff Mudgett. He is the great-grandson of H.H. Holmes. He will be on the show to talk about his recent investigations. He told me he has some new discoveries that they will be releasing on September 11th. So he will be letting me know what that is on my show as well. On September 19th, I have Les Durant. September 26th, Jeanette Lewis. October 3rd, Stephanie Treadway. And then October 10th, we have the team from Tombstone Wild West Paracon will be joining us to talk about their event. So a lot of exciting things happening, several things planned. Super excited and looking forward to all of that. And then I do have, I'm waiting to see, I think I might be getting Jeff Schlachter. He had to cancel last week because of his life got crazy, which we guys all know that happens. I'm hoping to get him booked again for, I'm thinking October 17th. I'm just kind of waiting for him to wake up and see my message and let me know if he can join us. Haunted Life, yes, that's a Monday though. So yeah, bummer. I might be doing something on my personal page for that one. I might be doing a live book signing and presentation on lighthouses. So stay tuned for that. I'm still in the works. I'm trying to get the presentation done because I need that presentation done anyway, because for those of you who are in Florida or will be Florida or willing to travel to Florida, On September 15th, 16th, and 17th, I will be at Phantasm in Orlando at the Doubletree Inn by Universal, I think is where it's at. But anyway, so I will be there signing books. I'll have all my books there. Some special announcements will be made there. And I'm trying to think. My son and I are doing a presentation on Dracula. Then I have Haunted Horror Story Origins that I'm going to be doing a presentation on. Of course, Haunted Florida Lighthouses. Last year I did it on ghost towns. This year I'm going to do it on lighthouses. And then Joe and I will be doing, because Joe Frankie will be at the show as well, we'll be doing a presentation on Ouija or not Ouija. So we'll be doing that to kind of talk about the different perspectives on using a Ouija board. So if you guys are in the area, mark your calendars. It was originally a horror convention, but they are now turning it into a horror and parafest. So make sure you stay tuned for that. That'll be a fun show. Okay, and moving right along. As you guys know, Haunted Southern Nevada Ghost Towns and Ghosts of the Legends of the Vegas Valley. I have 2 of the Vegas book and 4 of the Ghost Towns book available. If you guys are interested, they're $25 each, include the autograph and shipping. So you don't have to pay any extra for the shipping. It's all included. I'm still taking a wait list. I have several people on it already for Haunted Florida Lighthouses, which comes out September 11th. Good news, Haunted Florida Ghost Towns is off to the publisher, and I have signed the contract for Haunted Roadside Attractions in Florida, as well as Ghosts and Legends of Florida Pirates, and those will be both coming out in spring 2024. So that is something I'm looking forward to. It's going to be a blast. I'm actually having fun doing those. I'm almost done, with the Roadside Attraction one, so that'll be a lot of fun. Ghost Education 101, next week, Tuesday night at 9 p.m., we are going to have Reverend Sean Whittington. He's a returning guest. Love the Rev. You guys probably recognize the name. I'm trying to get Bishop Long back on the show, too, because they both him and Sean were on the Legion of Exorcists from Eli Roth and want to talk about that. So I'm super excited. Sean is a great friend. I knew him when I was out in Vegas. And if you haven't seen an interview with him, you got to tune in, or at least maybe search for him on Facebook. And he hosts 2 podcasts, and he is just, the term I want to use is a hoot, but he'll probably laugh at me if I say that, but he is a blast. I absolutely, if you're looking for someone who has a light heart, but yet knows this business is serious, that's the man you want to talk to. Okay. Is Manny's Gator Farm haunted? I don't know. I know that is on my list that I need to research from roadside attractions. So I'll look into that a little bit more, Lee. But from the sounds of it, just by saying that, I'm getting a vision of like a more rundown Gatorland. And it's weird because I would have thought Gatorland was haunted, and it's not. At least there's no reports on it. I might have to go visit and do like a secret investigation to see if it is. And finishing up, going through my list of things for our weekly updates. Real Haunts Ghost Towns and Real Haunts 3 are now available on Prime for $4.99, or you can still watch them on Tubi for free. Of course, Ghost Adventures Lake of Death is on Max and Discovery Plus.
No matter the questions, Ellie Weisensell can help you find the answers. Ellie is a gifted intuitive and a natural energy healer, which she applies using the body code and emotion code healing systems, among others, to help you achieve balance for your best results. Are you looking for more clarity about which direction to follow with your life, health, or career? Let Ellie guide you. As a psychic, Ellie can provide clarity to the path you are on, so you may use your free will to change the direction of your life. Are you wanting to communicate with a loved one who's passed? As a certified certified psychic medium, Ellie Weisencell can connect you with your loved ones on the other side to facilitate healing or offer closure. To schedule your appointment with Ellie, look her up on Facebook at Ellie Weisencell Psychic Medium or email her at ellieweisensell@gmail.com. That's Ellie Weisencell, Weisensel.
Hey everyone, go figure. I start talking about Satan's Throne and Zach's show, and all of a sudden I freeze. Yeah, go figure. Someone doesn't want me talking about that. But anyway, catching up in the comments real quick while I was frozen. Lee had said, I'm not sure if I want gator ghosts following me home. Could you imagine that? That could be scary. And Disney and SeaWorld are haunted. They are part of another book that I'm working on, Haunted Florida Theme Parks. And for Disney, I worked at Disney for several years, and I've had several personal experiences, as well as several people share stories with me, so that I could almost write a whole book just on Disney based on the stuff that I have. So yeah, those both are extremely haunted. And wrapping up real quick, don't forget our new show with Joe and I, Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. This week, we are going to be talking with Bill Slevin. We're going to be talking about different investigation techniques, a whole bunch of different things in that aspect. And we are also going to be talking about Phantasm, because Bill will be joining us there as well. So make sure you tune in Thursday night or catch the replay on Friday morning. Patreon, you guys know I have a Patreon. A whole bunch of different levels, includes behind the scenes, advance notice of events, special gifts for event attendees. One of the higher levels, I offer free shamanic life coaching. And if you have a business or would like to sponsor the show and get your name mentioned during the show and on our website, as well as with our social media and everything with that, you guys can check that out at the higher levels. We do have sponsorships available included in your Patreon membership. So that is a little fun thing that I've been working on. And then, of course, TMCC out in Reno, the online courses I'm teaching, registration is now open. So sign up for September 25th is the ABCs of Paranormal Research, and that one is turning out to be a fun one. I'm almost done finishing that presentation for that class. And then October 9th is Ghost Hunting 101. Both classes are from 6 to 9 Pacific at night. So make sure you guys look into that and get those as well. I've been putting the links up on my different pages, and also they're on my website. You can either get to my website at explorationparanormal.com or heatherleephd.com. So we have those. And if you guys are here, make sure you guys let me know you're here. I love that you guys watch and listen, but I kind of like to know that people are here too, because sometimes it does feel like I'm talking to myself, but that's okay. You guys know I can carry on and talk for a while and make things happen. So real quick, the book recommendation I had is The Crooked Path for this week. This one, it basically takes you down a traditional magic and goes through all the old witchcraft practices. Not your typical magic book that you would get, but it is a great book. Keldon, great storyteller. And what I get is I'm just talking to Lee. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Dog's chasing after. So yeah, sometimes I am just talking to Lee, which is fine. I love chatting with you, Lee. It's always fun. You have a great sense of humor and always bring me ideas to the show. But yeah, this book, what I love about it, it's very approachable. He writes in a manner that makes it make sense. So if you're either wanting to expand your witchcraft knowledge or want to learn more about the practice, that is a great book to dive into. And hi, Jennifer. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. My guest will be joining us soon. So until he gets here, I'm going to just chit chat back and forth with you guys and have fun. History books, yes. Oh, maybe that's what I'll pull out the next time I go live, is some of the history books that I have. Because I think I have, out of everything, of course, I grew up following the Civil War. Our summer vacations were going to places like Williamsburg, Gettysburg, Charleston, and all of those places. So I have a ton of Civil War history books. So Yeah, another Lee. Yes, the show is full of Lees. I love it. So perfect, so perfect. Okay, so yeah, and Howard, like I said, he's an amazing guy. I know one of his shows, the Petri Dish. I don't know if it's still airing or not, but I know last time I talked to him, he is a man of all different types of talents, and that's what I love about him. He told me whoever I want to interview, he can be. He can be the paranormal investigator Howard. He can be the CEO of the nonprofit Howard. He can be event organizer Howard. So I told him we were going to take all of his Howards and mix them into one today. And that's going to be the best part of the show. It's going to be, he always has me laughing. I'm always chuckling. And I just don't know if I can get there with everything going on right now. But, excuse me, I have been invited to come out to Fear Fest this year, but I don't think I'm going to make it. So I'm hoping next year to get out there for Fear Fest and everything. And I'm just looking through my notes to see if there's anything. Sorry, I was just trying to read why my notes I must have copied and pasted from a website. My had 8-foot LED ghost inflatable decoration. So yeah, I must have copied some notes from a website that had an ad on it. So I'm just looking at a few things, checking a few things out. And if you guys are new to the show, you can catch us on WLTK-DB Talk Radio. It is on Facebook and YouTube. I have a whole bunch on my page. I have a whole bunch of different links that you guys can log into and check. You can watch. I had the list in front of me, but I closed it out. And we were just talking about it this morning too. You can, from iTunes to a whole bunch of different places you can look at. I have the list on my Facebook page, as well as I share out everything. And then also, if you go on my website, explorationparanormal.com, there is an Exploring the Paranormal page just for the show that showcases information, how to watch. Any sponsors of the show are listed there. And if you go down towards the bottom, there's all the little links that you can click on to watch the show or download the show from all the different avenues where it is posted. So you guys can do that as well. So, and actually, I'm the type of person who likes to book ahead. I do have a few shows open for later this year in November. Oh, thank you, Todd, for sharing all of those. Yes, that's where the Podbean channel, you can catch everything there. So I do have a few slots open for a few shows. I have a couple people coming back to me that are letting me know if they can take the days. But before the end of the year comes around, let me know if there's anyone or any topic you want to talk about. I mean, I'm trying to think, because I know towards the end of the month, I might just do a presentation, which I have actually, let me pull up my presentations and see which ones you guys might want to see. Because I had a blast doing the show last week with the haunted Southern Nevada ghost towns. But different presentations that I could talk about that I already have done. Of course, Could Dracula Have Existed, which talks about the science behind vampires. When Ghosts Attack. Paranormal tourism versus urban exploration. Haunted History, Gettysburg. Behind the Shadows. This is a new one I'm working on. And I'm gonna get Philomena's input on it. It's the Hat Man, Shadow People, and Men in Black, documenting the paranormal, analyzing photographs. Of course, Joe and I have to Ouija or not to Ouija. I'm sure he'd be willing to come on the show, or we could do that on a Thursday night. Supernatural shielding, which is how to protect yourself against paranormal activity. I know a lot of people want to know more about that. Adventures of a Ghost Hunter, which is about my personal experiences growing up as a paranormal, and then how I got into paranormal research, as well as my early experiences that I had before I got into it. I have one here. what? Oh, yeah, the Ouija board said what? This was one that I'm doing on different cases that I've done where they used a Ouija board, and that's why we ended up getting called in. A fun one that I'm working on is, and I'm trying to get Joe in on this one too, and I'm sure he'll do it. He's always open for it, is when ghost hunters get scared. Because believe it or not, we are human. I'm doing a Strange Escapes, Paranormal Travel, when paranormal investigations go wrong, the good, the bad, the ugly of the paranormal, Ghost of Christmas Past, that would be a fun one, having a magical Christmas, Understanding the Paranormal, being a couch paranormal investigator, that one I just started on, so that'll be a lot of fun. And then, of course, we have the Haunted Florida Lighthouses, hosting paranormal events, being an ethical paranormal investigator, my non-tech tools presentation, and then I think I mentioned earlier photo analysis training, and then I'm also doing one on herbal magic and the paranormal. So if any of those are of interest to you, let me know, but also let me know if you guys know anybody or if you want to be interviewed on the show. I do have a few spots left towards the end of the year. Still not sure what exactly I might be doing in December as far as what shows, but I'm trying to come up with something special to do during the shows for that month, and kind of have some fun along the way for that one. But yeah, I'm booking one in October, but I think I'm trying to get Jeff booked on for that show. And then I have every Tuesday in November still available. So make sure you look into that. And I'm just checking a few things. Okay, so we look like we're good. And you know, guys, it's that time of year here in Florida, and it's nowhere near us, so I don't have to worry about it anytime soon. But the National Hurricanes Center on Monday highlighted new areas of interest off the Florida coast. So yeah, so hopefully that doesn't, you know, if it's not Todd's area getting thunderstorms, it's Florida getting hurricanes and thunderstorms. And you know what? It's not even supposed to rain, but it's getting dark outside, you know. So yeah, it's, go figure. If it's not one thing, it's another. My poor dog. I really need to get that thunder shirt we talked about earlier today. Okay, so and I'm just looking at a few things real quick, and okay, sorry guys for all the quietness. I'm reading and trying to make sure I covered everything, and you know, like I said, I'm kind of babbling. Yeah, this stuff is just crazy. I know, it's weird. And if it's like, oh, what was it last year for the hurricane? We lost power before the storm even hit. It's like it wasn't even windy out, but one of the trees at the front entrance of our complex fell over and took out, and this was the funny part, it took out the entire front half of the subdivision. So we have a hill behind us with like a little mini forest, but we can still see through the trees. And at the top of the hill is another row of townhomes, and they all had power, but we didn't. And we were without power for a good 3 days. So we went into the storm without power. And because we were going into the storm, nobody was coming out to fix it. And it actually took a team of, I don't know how many trucks, I forgot how many there were, but a team from Texas to come in, and they had to replace the whole power line and, remove the tree and all of that stuff. It was crazy. But yeah, the funniest part, like I said, we lost power before the storm even hit. So I at least expected to have it until the strongest part of the storm. But yeah, it was definitely weird. And then our poor dog, she doesn't like rain. So trying to get her to go outside. Yeah, I think this year I'm gonna have to video it because she's hysterical. She's truly a hoot when it comes to stuff like that. We can never figure that out. I think it's the only thing I could think of is in Vegas it didn't rain much, so she kind of was one of those things where she wasn't used to rain, and now that she's in the rain, she can't stand it. Okay, so keep your fingers crossed that the hurricane does not affect us, and any hurricane doesn't affect us this year, so we can keep going with the show, because I do have a lot of guests planned, a lot of fun, a lot of amazing things planned for you guys. And I truly do. I mean, sometimes I wake up Tuesday mornings and I'm tired. And then it's like, oh, can I have a day off? And then once I think about it and start planning for the show and getting ready for it, I get excited. And it's a great way to kick off the day. So I absolutely love chatting with you guys. I'm trying to think of some fun things we could start doing, because I want to change things up next year. I'm changing up my show outline. So of course, guys, now I have my introductions, but hopefully by next year, when we start the show fresh in the new year, you guys know who I am. And those who don't know who I am, I will direct to my website so they can get more information. And I'm getting a whole bunch of different new guests lined up already. I know I'm a planner. People laugh at me, but I'm a planner. But I'm trying to think of something fun. It's almost one of those where it's like, do I want to do a coffee of the day, or I really don't want to do breakfast of the day, because I don't want to be sitting here eating in front of you guys. And I really, outside of an English muffin or some toast, I really don't do much for breakfast. So if you guys have any ideas, I'm always open to listen. I'm trying to think, a whole bunch of different things. Or tea of the day. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I got to come up with something. I know there's, like, when it comes to coffees or teas, there's a lot that I want to try. So I'm wondering if maybe I could do something along that line. This is another thing that I thought of doing. You guys can let me know if you're interested in it. I thought of doing something along the lines of the herb of the day, where I do a quick discussion on the herb, its magical properties, as well as how it can benefit the paranormal field, and then kind of do a quick recipe on what you can do with it. Like for the marjoram, I could show you guys how I use that in my over-the-door protection bottles. So a whole bunch of different things in that aspect that we could do. As Lee's like, yes. I figured, and Todd likes it too. I figured Lee would like that, and then Jennifer likes it as well. So I'll switch it up, and instead of the book of the day, I can do the herb of the day. And starting next year too, I'm doing more research into different scientific theories behind the paranormal. So opening the show, I'm going to be talking about a theory, explaining how it can work, how you can do it. I'm going to get back to the true roots of my introduction for exploring the paranormal and discuss that, and hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, the guest that I have for that day will match. Oh, a ton of herb books. Yes, there's one. Shoot, it's not near. I really need to move back in front of my bookcase. But yeah, I have one that is absolutely amazing. And then I have this huge book on 1,000 spells. That is a great book as well, that talks about different herbs and all of that. So we'll definitely, I think I'm going to definitely do that. So yeah, I mean, just sitting here brainstorming, and it's like I'm coming up with ideas. So this is why I like talking to you guys, because I come up with some great ideas. I know it was funny because I was being interviewed on one show, and Ghosts and Legends of the Florida Pirates wasn't even a book I had thought of. And we were talking about different lighthouses that had pirate ties. And the host was like, he goes, wow, I bet there's a lot of pirate stories. And immediately I thought of the idea. Of course, I reached out to my other publisher, who already had the contract getting ready for the haunted roadside attractions. And he's like, I love it. And I'm like, okay, well, we can swap it out. And he's like, no, you do both. And so it's just brainstorming and talking kind of gets the juices flowing. So you kind of think about different things. So and it's funny because even if I'm not in front of a camera, I do this in front of the computer while working. So it's kind of my family. My family never knows if I'm on a show or what I'm doing, because I'm always kind of talking, and just, it's very interesting. You guys brainstorming is fun. Yes, I love it. Which is why I know I'm still waiting for Howard to join. I'm so hoping he didn't think that it was Central Time. I messaged him that it was Eastern, but I can keep babbling for a while. But yeah, I truly do believe that we should be networking with each other, and the networking with one another helps with the brainstorming. I know a friend of mine, he was an investigator that I work closely with in Vegas. Love him to death. Great guy, great investigator. And he's one of those that we worked well together with. And just chatting on the phone with him, I think we talked for 15 minutes. By the time we were done, and this is the funny part, is he called me up to jokingly tease me, even though I know he was a little bit serious, tease me about what I had said on Ghost Adventures Lake of Death. Because I had gotten a couple calls from people in Vegas saying, why'd you say what you said? You just, you're adding fuel to the fire type of thing. And we all have fun with it. And, but in that 15-minute call, I had a list of ideas that we were going to start working on, or, a list of ideas that I can start working on. So it's just amazing. So if you guys are paranormal investigators, or thinking about getting into the field, find investigators that you're comfortable with, that you can talk to. We should be able to share our ideas and not worry about someone's going to steal. Of course, you guys have the groups that steal the ideas. One thing I always tell people is don't let others know what you're thinking until the ball is already rolling or until it's ready to go. Just because you risk that idea. But I do have a small circle of people that I do talk to about all of my ideas. Brent's one of them. And it's a great way to, I guess, make sure you're not crazy type of thing. Oh, Howard says he's on his way. But it's also perfect because if you have that small circle of people you trust, like, okay, there's a photo. The photo I showed you guys last week of the brothel in Goldfield. That photo before, of course I couldn't share it right away because I had to hold on to it until the documentary team decided if they were going to use it or not. But I had shared the photo with 5 people that are, these 5 people are in my circle, and was just kind of like, hey, I think I see something. What do you see? And they all came back with the same information. And what I liked about it is I told them why we couldn't share it, because they're like, oh, you got to share this type of thing. But it was one of those things I explained why we couldn't share it. And because they're trusted, nobody did. Nobody shared it. And they all had copies of this photo and they could easily have shared it. So that's why you guys have to find team members that you trust, find other teams that you trust. And from there, that's how we kind of start building and going on and working with one another. You always want that second opinion. It's like my husband, he's the one who discovered the anomaly in that photo. He shared it with me. I saw the same thing. That's when I shared it with the group that I trust. And it kind of just, if you don't trust your own team, what's going to happen? You're not going to last long. You're not going to, you're not going to be able to do much because of, I'm trying to pick my words carefully. You guys know this, is when it comes to paranormal teams and stuff like that, you need to trust who you're working with, because if you don't, I truly do believe that all of this global paranormal backstabbing, bullying, stealing ideas, and not trusting each other starts at the team level. Because I'm more trusting than I probably should be, because I do have a team that I trust. And that was mostly because previously I had a team that I was on that I half trusted, half didn't trust. There were some members of the team that I would trust with my life, other members of the team that I didn't trust at all. And that wasn't a good working relationship team-wise. So I ended up moving on from there, as so did a lot of the other members. And I'm very selective, but I still welcome anybody with open arms. I still will help anyone who needs help, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so yeah, it's a tough field out there. I'll tell you guys that, but you guys stay strong. Do everything you can to change the field. Instead of, because like, I'm not complaining about the backstabbing. It's one of my favorite statements I say whenever I don't really want to say I've given up, but it is what it is. You're not going to do anything to change that by complaining. The only way we're going to change this field is by changing it ourselves. And New name for the show, Paranormal High School. Yes, that would be a great show. Talk about the childish behavior between teams. Oh my goodness. And what's funny is if I shared even, I don't even want to say half, but if I shared a quarter of the stuff I know about some teams out there and how they act and how they treat people and how they investigate, holy crap, I could cause a lot of trouble, but I'm bigger than that. Would I like to do it? Of course, a piece of me wants to get back at some people who've done me wrong over the years, but I'm not going to stoop to their level. I'm going to do what needs to be done to change the field and move on. And that's kind of why I like doing this show, just doing me. Paranormal Play School, that's much, much better. Oh, Howard has arrived. Okay, so I can stop babbling. So we're going to do a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back, and I will introduce my special guest. See you guys in just a moment.
If you're a fan of the paranormal world, then you'll love WLTK-DB Talk Radio. Talk shows bringing you the latest on everything paranormal, cryptozoological, metaphysical, true crime, psychic readings, and more. The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the show. Super excited to be here. I'm like a mess today. Holy crap. Everything's all disheveled and my necklace keeps twisting on me. It's almost like my new necklace has a life of its own. And if you guys hear crunching, I'm sorry. When I got up to get more coffee, I gave my dog an ice cube and she decided to eat it underneath me. So that's not a ghost or a spirit. It's my dog enjoying her ice cube. But anyway, I'm super excited to have Howard here. We might as well bring him on before I start babbling and lose track of time. Welcome to the show, Howard.
How you doing, Heather? Apologize for being late.
No
My
problem.
wife had to go to work early this morning, so I got stuck feeding pigs and chickens this morning. So, yeah, it was crazy morning this morning.
Oh, fun.
Me on.
Oh, no problem. Super excited to have you here because, like me, you're a jack of all trades when it comes to this field. Show host, producer, investigator, event coordinator, and you also have a nonprofit.
Oh, yes. And as a matter of fact, we besides the nonprofit, also we have event coordinator. Matter of fact, I'm putting together FairFest 2023 New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually 3 venues I'm putting into one venue. Oof. So it's actually it's a headache. Trust me, it is a big headache.
Oh yes, and I'm sure I have that on my list to talk about later on because I just lost my list of questions. Let me pull it back up. So I definitely do want to dive into that because that sounds like it's going to be an amazing event as well as your nonprofit. But before we get started, do you mind sharing with my viewers a little bit more about you and what you got you started in the paranormal field?
And which aspect?
Whatever aspect you want to talk about.
There's so many things. So many things I'm doing.
We have
right
a little
now.
more than an hour. You can talk as long as you need to.
Matter of fact, well, let's see. I started doing paranormal. I got interested in the paranormal when I was about 5 years old. I actually see my great grandfather, and he was standing. I was sleeping. I woke up, and there he was, and he just kind of just faded away. So I ran off into my parents' room, and I woke up my mother, and she told me that he's asking for prayers. That's all he's doing. So that was actually my first experience with paranormal. Then since then, I guess about the age of 12, I started more. I guess started focusing on more about spirit and stuff like that. Never did any paranormal investigating, but when I was 16 years old, that's when I really got into it, more into the paranormal. going into old houses and just I seen some things when like I said, when I was 16 years old, and scared the boogers out of me. So I just ran out of the house. And since then, I mean, I've gotten more and more and more involved in it. For a time, I got bored with it. Actually, I guess you know, for doing it for so long, especially being so young, you just get bored with it. So for a little time there, I was with MUFON. I did a little MUFON work. I did that for about 9-10 years, and then right after my daughter's passing, that's when I got back into it. I had some experiences in my house. Matter of fact, my house is haunted. um, so I just got back into it, and I started podcasting about it. And I actually was working with a lady, and she was actually, it was her show, and I was just coming in and just substituting for a little bit. And then she came back and took over her show, and I just went ahead and just kept podcasting. And then I was fortunate enough to have Stephen Woodard was watching me one day, and he got in touch with me. He said, and actually it was my third show by myself, and he said, I want you on Paralinks or Pun TV, Paranormal United Network. And did that for a while. I mean, just doing shows and stuff. I went off into another network, then came back to now it's Paralinks, and now I'm half owner in the Paralinks network. Myself, and then there's Chrissy Baggett, and she's the other owner in it now. So that's where we're at. And like I said, I'm doing 3 podcast shows right now, but right now I'm taking a little bit of break because of all the stuff with this Fear Fest thing. So I'm doing little spots here and there, and I'll help out with other people on their shows when they ask me to come on and stuff like that. I'm also I produce a 4th show, which is Hey Boo. So that's a show. It's all women. Here lately, it's been going on there. So I'm thinking about putting a wig on and just call me Henrietta or something. But yeah, but that's all for women. And but yeah, I have the 3 shows, which is matter of fact, I see Jennifer Lee's in the.
Yeah, I was just gonna say she was saying hi.
And Jennifer was actually one of my first co-hosts. Matter of fact, my first co-host that I had on the show was myself and Gabriel Herrera, and we started Paranormal Swamp Talk. And then Jennifer, she left me. No, she didn't. she was developing her psychic abilities, and she's probably one of the most strongest psychics I've ever seen out there. Then I started with the Petri dish, which that was thrown in my lap, actually. I didn't want to do it. I was fun to have. I was having a grand old time doing just my one little show. But Stephen came to me and he said, well, I got an idea for a show for you. We're going to call it the Petri dish. I said, okay. And then, of course, everybody in the medical field knows what a Petri dish is. You can grow bacteria in it. And my last name's Petri, so I can dish it out. So that show became, since I didn't want to do it, I wanted it to actually fail. That was my whole premise. I wanted it to fail. And
that actually explains a lot.
And that show, I mean, it's a twisted show. It's NC-17. We asked some stupid questions on there. We get a little vulgar on it. And then from there, it was myself, Chrissy Baggett, and Ricky Heller got together, and we just called ourselves the Unholy Trinity. And we were just having a grand old time just on that show. And then that show's then turned into a complete train wreck from start to finish. I'll put a subject out there, and for the first 5 minutes, we might talk about that subject, and then it's going off all over the place. We might talk about Bigfoot in the beginning, and towards the end of the show, we might talk about what colored underwear I'm wearing at the end of it. I don't know. It just goes that direction. It's like I guess you could say it's like a fat kid in the candy store who has ADHD and didn't take the Adderall, and they're just going crazy. That's what we do on that show. But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm part owner or half owner in that. Now, Stephen and Crystal and Courtney, basically they just wanted to retire from it. They just wanted to step back and they still help us do things and run day-to-day stuff. And but as for the heads of what's going on, that's basically myself and Chris.
Mhm. Yeah. I remember when the network first started because Ghost Education 101 was on there, and we
Yes.
still are.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I was talking about. Matter of fact, it was almost like a feuding thing. I mean, and I had to set up. And I said, no, well, I'll take, I'll let them have it and all that stuff. And I'm not going to fight with, because it's all para family. I mean, I don't look at para unity. I look at para family.
Yeah.
And we're all family. And I just said, and that was with Philip.
Right.
And I said, I'm not going to fight. I love Philip to death. And I said, I'm not going to fight with Philip. I mean, he's too good of a guy. I mean, so I just backed off and said, no, let him have. I mean, I'll take whatever scraps I can get out of it. That's what I did. I took the scraps of it.
Yeah. And I remember that all happening. And I'm just like, I go, this is you, Philip. I'm like, I can go live anytime you need me to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I know I've tried to change the show times a little bit sometimes with him, but his work schedule doesn't allow for it. So it's like,
right.
So we're kind of stuck because of his work schedule.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now with that, and that's just in the paranormal field. I'm a pastor. I'm a paranormal investigator. I'm an ordained minister, pastor, and I'm a demonologist. If I ever run into any trouble or if I don't know something, and if anybody tells you they know it all, they're lying to you because you never know it all, unless you're dead. Then you might know something. But I started with all that, and then I'm doing in the paranormal field. I'm doing all this, and then that's just in the paranormal field. Then I have my foundation and stuff like that. And besides my foundation, I belong to many organizations that are out there also. I belong with NAMI, federal, state, and local chapters of NAMI, which is the National Alliance for Mental Illness. Suicide prevention, which I'm on the federal, state, and local chapters of suicide prevention. With survivors of suicide, we call it SOS. And then I'm with Postpartum Support International. So I belong to these other organizations besides just having my own organization. And then I'm also a third-degree Knight of the Knights of Columbus. So that's a Catholic organization, and that's a group of men. We get together, and we have our Lady Knights also, and they have their organization. It's a group of men. We go out and help the community and help the church.
See, and all my viewers say I'm busy, but you're sounds like you're just as busy.
And that's not minding you, and that's not minding you, and then that's family life. I just got married in May. I've been with my wife for 9 years, but we were together for 9 years, but we made it legal May of last year, 2022. And then there's grandkids that are coming over and stuff like that. So we got grandbabies, and then there's, of course, day-to-day life and stuff like that, which is.
I know, trying to fit it all in. Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show is FearFest 2023. Can you talk a little bit more about what gave you guys the idea to host this event and what the event's all about?
Sure. Stephen Woodard, he's the mastermind. He was the one who came up with the idea of FearFest. He had one, it didn't do too well, and then he did a second one that was in Kansas, and it didn't do too well, but it was a lot going on why that one didn't do too well. And then I went to Stephen and said, let's have it in New Orleans. You're talking about one of the most haunted cities in the world, and you're talking about one of the most haunted states in the United States. And he said, okay, let's do it. And then Stephen was at the point where he just wanted to back out of it. He was just, that's when he was retiring. He said, Howard, take it. You and Chris, you just do it. And I said, okay. So we decided to go ahead and put it as instead of making money on this thing, of course we want to make money. But the money that we do make, we're giving it to charity. 100% of all our proceeds are going to charity. They all going to nonprofits that are out there because let's face it. I mean, the way the economy is right now, it's really poor. We're in a recession. I'll call it for what it is. We're in a recession, almost depression. Look at it. And donations aren't there for any kind of charity whatsoever. So we went ahead and reached out to a bunch of charities out there. My charity is being one of them. It's all going to get equal splits, people. So our books are open, so you can see what's going on. We're, like I said, we're a 501c3 nonprofit, so our books are open. So anybody can look at them. If you want to look at them, hey, why don't you take some and pay some of the bills out of it too? So that's the way I look at it. We're doing that, and I reached out to a bunch of paranormal people out there, and that's in the paranormal field who are well known, and of course I respect, and other people, our peers, respect. Matter of fact, I believe you're coming also, aren't you?
I'm still trying to work out the travel details. Just with buying a house, I think it's a little tight for us to get me out there this year.
Don't you live in Florida?
Yeah.
What part of Florida?
Just north of Tampa.
Well, see, that's what you do. You get in a little boat and you paddle straight across, and you're right there in New Orleans, and then you're right up the Mississippi River. We got you covered. I'll be waiting for you on the bank. I'll put
okay, sounds good. But I'm still working on it.
But we have a lot of people that are going to be showing up for this event. I'm excited about it. Like I said, it's 3 venues in one. Of course, we have our vendors and stuff, which I've been working on. That's the roughest part, getting vendors to do this thing. Because vendors are very picky. That they're, then they're procrastinating and everything else. But of course, we have that. And then we have our, I guess we could say our guest speakers, who's have Mr. George and Miss Kara Shoplin. They're coming in from California. And these people are all donating their time to do this, which is amazing. I have Mr. Carl, Mr. Keith Johnson. I have Miss Shannon. Of course, everybody knows that they're world renowned. They're demonologists, and they're very intelligent and very brilliant within what they do. Then we have Miss Shannon Michelle Collins, which I don't see very many of these. I mean, it's rare. She's a scriber. Automatic writing, and I've seen her work, and she's amazing. But she's also a model, and she does cosplay. So that's she's a jack of all trades her own self. Of course, and on our network, we have Mr. Michael Koff coming in. He's going to be speaking about podcasting and stuff like that. Then we have, let's see, of course, Stephen and Crystal will be coming in. We have, I'm just looking at my paperwork because I got it all over the place.
Oh, I do the same thing.
So we have him coming in. We have Miss Shannon Rogers coming in. She's actually retired now. She's gotten out. She doesn't want to do anything anymore. She's doing her own personal paranormal journey. But she took her website down and everything. She's just taking a break from this stuff. But I love that woman, and she loves me. And she said, Howard, I'm coming. I'm doing this thing for you. And I said, thank you so very much, Shannon. I appreciate what she's doing for me. Another couple that I have highly respect is Mr. Ernie and Miss Denise Pac-Man Paranormal. They're going to be down here. And Ernie's charging me. I'm going to tell you this now. Ernie's charging me. He's charging me biscuits and gravy. That's all he's charging me. I got to bring him out for breakfast, get him biscuits and gravy, and we're good. So,
if only all the paranormal speakers would charge that.
Yeah, I know, right? So we have also Mr. Of course, Stephen and Crystal. They'll be there. They're coming in. Hopefully, Stephen's feeling better. I mean, he just had surgery and everything. So prayers for Stephen to get better. Matter of fact, I got to call him today. All over the place. I'm telling you, I'm all over. So we have him coming in, and Miss, of course, Omega Supreme herself, Miss Crystal Woodard. I'm still working on Courtney Peterson. I don't know what that woman's doing. I call her my mistress. She's 1 minute she's coming, the next minute she's not. So she's flighty. So I don't know if she's going to do it. I'd love for her to be here. And that's in our that's in our network. Of course, we have Mr. Brian Laverty. He's coming in from Canada. He's going to be here. He represents Parapost, who we partner up with, and that's, we work together. And he's also going to be talking about the global ghost hunt. Then we have an actual vampire that's going to be speaking. His name is Belvas. If I get it wrong, Papazar, I'm sorry. It's Belvazar Michael Bosom Ashton, and we call him Papazar. Like I said, he is a vampire. He's been on television before on series where they show you actual vampires and stuff. He's also a voodoo priest. So he's going to be speaking about vampirism, because that's big in New Orleans, especially since Anne Rice did what she's done.
Right.
So we have and of course, you've ever seen the show The Originals and all that. It's all about vampirism, werewolves, and witches in New Orleans, which we have all that here. We don't call them werewolves, we call them rougarou. And it's a spirit of a werewolf. We have him coming in. Then we have psychic galleries, and that's going to be Miss Ane Shin. She's coming in doing psychic galleries. I did invite Miss Jennifer Lee to come in. She has prior engagements that she has to take care of, and we're going to have Miss Beth Allen. She's coming in, and she's going to do some psychic galleries as well. Then that's just our guest speakers and our psychic galleries. Next year. Yeah, of course you want to come next year, because all right, I see how you are. No, you got to pay me next year.
I was just thinking, it's like, that's probably where I'm at too, is next year.
Then we have our and that, like I said, that's our guest speakers, that's our psychic galleries. Then we have special guests that are coming in, and I got one or two more that are out there. I'm waiting for hear responses from. But I can go over the ones that we do have. Let me see where I got them down at. I got them. I may be able to go off the top of my head. We have Mr. Drew Varick. Mr. Drew Varick. He played in American Horror Story. He's also played a Cirque du Freak vampire assistant. Drew's about 42 inches tall. And he's 42 inches tall. He's a little person. And that's what he played in. If anybody out there watched American Horror Story Freak Show and Cirque du Freak Vampire's Assistant, we have Mr. John Azuna coming in. Mr. Azuna, he holds 2 Guinness Book of World Records. The first one is fastest punches thrown under a minute, and the second one is the most punches that makes contact under a minute. He's a martial arts expert. But he's played in such movies as Ant-Man and Wasp, the Matrix series, Venom. He's been in these movies, so he's going to be there as a guest, as a special guest. We're also going to have Mr. Robert Mello. He's played in Happy Death Day 1, Happy Death Day 2. He's also played on a movie that's out on Netflix right now. Is We Got Ghost. And Fear of the Walking Dead. He's been in those. He's going to be with us. And another big person we have is Mr. Paul Taylor. Mr. Paul Taylor, he was actually in a little movie called Hellraiser. And he's Pinhead from Hellraiser. He's going to be here. So we have Pinhead. Yay! So so we're working on that. We got feelers out for matter of fact, Rob is speaking to Robert Englund. So we're trying to get Robert Englund, who played Freddy Krueger. We're also talking to, there's a couple of other ones. We're waiting to see what they're going to do first. Miss Cassandra Peterson, who played Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. We'd like to have her here. Mr. Bruce Campbell played an Evil Dead series. I love Bruce Campbell. That man is hysterical, especially some of the movies he's done in. Let's see who else. And the guy who played, I think it's Cotter. I can't, if I'm saying it wrong, but he played Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th series. Okay. And we're talking, we got feelers for him out. And then we also have feelers out for the guy who played the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface. And then we're going to have a panel with these people on there, and we're going to talk about the villains in horror films.
Oh, that would be cool.
So we're going to be doing a panel with these people. Going back to the festival itself, since it's a nonprofit, like I said, I did reach out to many organizations. One of them being is the Blood Center. We're going to set up a blood center, a blood truck out front, bus, whatever they call them. And if you donate blood, you get a discount at the door. SPCA, as you can see, what's running behind me. Yeah. We're going to have SPCA out there, and they're going to bring fur babies. So you can do fur baby adoptions that are out there. And then we're also going to be, of course, donations. They can always use donations. Of course, we were working with NAMI, see if NAMI, they're on the, I'm still getting to see if they're going to come or not. Working with them, suicide prevention. We're going to try to get them out here, have their own booth and everything. And then we're going to have a Family Crisis Center, which is an amazing organization. It's for battered men or women, because they do have men who get battered too. There's not just women that are out there, and they take them, especially if they have children, and they house them, and they take care of their needs, and they help them get jobs and apartment and transportation. And that's what that organization does. And then, of course, the Pregnancy Crisis Center, which is an amazing organization as well. They take a lady who's actually who's already had a child, and who's still learning, and who's not, especially a first-time mother, and still learning how to become a proper mother. And they help them. They show them films and sit down and talk to them and stuff like that, and provide for them after their child is born, or children are born, because they have twins or triplets. But they provide for them like clothes, food, bedding, stroll, whatever they need. So that their basic needs for them. So that's what we're having these people out there, and they're going to be setting up booths and stuff like that. And suicide prevention as well. We sent them an invitation as well. So of course they might not show, these people, two of them might not show up, but we're still going to donate funds to their organizations regardless.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like it's a well-rounded convention, which is, you don't see that often lately.
And we have Miss Dana Holyfield that's going to be there as well. Miss Dana Holyfield, who's a cryptic investigator, and her grandfather, Mr. Ford, he's the one who actually caught video, photo, and physical evidence of the Honey Island swamp monster. First person to ever do that. And that's nothing but maybe 15, 20 minutes away from my house. So, I'm in the woods in the swamp, right? So we have her coming as well. And she's going to set up a booth and everything. And that's just the one venue. That's the first event.
Right.
The second event, I have a musical event, which we're going to have on Friday and Saturday nights. And we finally got the contracts and all that done, hopefully. Which is with Ghost Attic. We're bringing in another band or two that's going to be opening acts for them. Amazing band. So we'll be selling tickets for those. And then that's the second event. And then the third event we're having is going to be investigations. We're going to try to do investigations in and around the city of New Orleans. We're going to try to do 4 locations. Those prices are going to differ depending on how much the venues charge us to actually doing investigations. And then with that, we're also going to throw, we're also in that event with the investigations, we're also going to try to have what they call a dinner seance. I posted it on my Facebook about Muriel's, which is right in the middle of the French Quarter. I mean, it overlooks Jackson Square. I mean, it's right there. And you can't get no more closer than the French Quarter than that. And they're actually going to have a, dinner and a seance with it. So we're working on that. As for the event, and that's the third one that we're doing. So that's 3. And then inside the first event, with the booths, the vendor booths, and of course the psychic galleries, we're going to be doing workshops for children. And what our main goal in the workshop is to actually teach children that they don't have to be afraid what's in the closet. They don't have to be afraid what's under the bed. It could be actually a good thing that's not necessarily always a bad. So we're going to try to, and that's our future paranormal investigators. We want to make sure that we start educating them early.
Right.
That's what we're working on that. So there's a bunch of things we're working on, and it's like I'm all over the place with this stuff, and it's just a headache. But it's logistically crazy right now.
Yep. So many balls in the air, but it's all going to be worth it.
I think it will be. It's just, we got the people coming. We're projecting anywhere from 5 to 35,000 in attendance. We're saying 5,000 because we don't know this is Louisiana, people. We don't know what's going to happen. Florida, same way. What we're talking about when they have something in the Gulf or something coming in the Atlantic. You just kind of like, whoa, what's going on? We already got our first name storm out there. So, I mean, it's wow, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yep. Yeah. And it's funny. I was talking about that earlier in the show before you came on, because I just gotten a notification that they're saying they pinpointed several locations just off of Florida's coast in the Atlantic that could be hot spots. And it's like, okay, here we go.
I just posted some other stuff on my Facebook. I don't know if you've been to my Facebook page, but it says it looks like somebody posted, it looks like my hometown, the St. Bernard Parish, Louisiana, is in the news again. And it has to do something about some more artifacts there's actually, they believe that Egyptians were here at one time. And they actually floated these big stones, like they built these pyramids, limestone or whatever, they carve them out of the stones or whatever, and they found them out in the Gulf of Mexico, and they started it's almost like it's crazy. I mean, we've already found someone that's dated back, I think 3,000 years, a skull of somebody that's been dated. It's just been crazy with the stuff they've been finding out there. But yeah, that's another thing. So trust me, you cannot kick a rock in Louisiana without it being a story behind it. That's the best way to put it. And I'm not trying to sell my state, because I love where I live. I mean, I've been to Florida. I've been across the country. I haven't been. Jennifer, I'm coming to your house. I'm sleeping on your front lawn. You know this already because she lives right close to that special place. But and I'm jumping that fence. I'm going to just find out what happens. But anyway, but yeah, I've been and they're nice places to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. This is home. I mean, this is home. I mean, there's too much going on out with your family, your roots, and everything. And spirit is alive here, and that's a part of the shirts. Matter of fact, we had shirts that are getting made. Matter of fact, it's been a week now, so hopefully by next week we have the shirts in. And it's, of course, we have the Fear Fest logos on the front, and then on the back it has a Fear Fest, and then it has a big fleur de lis on the back of it, and it says "Le bon temps roule," let the good times roll, and in the back it says also underneath that, keeping the spirit alive since 1718. And that's when the city was actually founded in 1718.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So we have no shirts made up. Leah wants to know, where does she live? Can we order a shirt? No, I'll tell you come, I'll give you a shirt. No, you want to come. So no, you don't get a shirt.
Jennifer beat me to it, because that's the question I was going to ask. If I don't make it, can I order a shirt?
That woman, I could tell you stories about that woman, I swear. I've seen a brand new kitchen, and she's already done burnt stuff in that house, and every brand new stove. And I said, Lord, she's been burning food in that house. I felt bad for her. I said, then I always told her I was going to send her a king cake from New Orleans. And I did. I sent her a king cake. And it's cold where she's in Utah. So it is cold. And she gets the king cake, and it was frozen. It was frozen on a porch. I mean, we get that fresh, but it was frozen, she told me. So I said, wouldn't defrost it out? You can put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. It's good. It'll go that way. But yeah, she's something. I love her to death. That's my little sister. So, yep. I've seen plenty. I've seen plenty too. She's done what she means by, I don't know if this is what she's talking about, but she did a remote viewing of my house.
Mm-hmm.
And people, you could say, you can Google map it and you can see your house and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And when she starts describing stuff in your house, and when she starts describing, places where people are sleeping and stuff in your house, and outfits like for my daughter Jessica, infant outfits that were, it's unique. You
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't just call these. Thing I asked. Oh, yeah, I'm still here.
Okay,
I'm
there you
still
are.
there.
Yep.
Yeah. Only thing I asked Jennifer not to do is watch me in the bathroom. That's the only thing. I mean, I already do that stuff on lives anyway. I mean, I'll sit there, and if people know who I am, I'll do a live in my tub. I'm taking a bath. I don't care, and I'm on the commode, but I do when I'm on the potty, and I don't care. I just do it anytime I want, and I do it live, and that's me. I mean,
Right.
I'm the type of person I'm open.
Right.
I don't have nothing to hide, so
Yep.
physically
That's
and
what
mentally.
that's what makes you unique. And you don't see people who are true to themselves much lately in the field.
Oh, well, you have to be. I mean, that's where I'll always be. That's why, I mean, there's people out there that I don't really care for because of what they've done to me in the past. But that's I try to mend fences with some of them. Some of them I just there's damage that it can never be, can't be fixed. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yep.
But I also want to say, if y'all would keep someone in there. I have a friend of mine, Tiffany Werner. She done a show called Clarity, Moments of Clarity.
Yep.
And she was a psychologist and everything. She was a radio person. She done radio spots, and I've been knowing her for quite some time. And she passed away, a young mother. She passed away of a heart attack, and she leaves behind two small children and a husband. So if you keep her in your prayers for us, we appreciate it.
Okay, will do. Definitely. That's always sad to hear.
It was a big. It's a loss. It is. It's a big loss, and especially I mean, she's done so much for for mental health, and then she's done so much. I mean, crossing over and doing mental health in the paranormal. I mean, we try to link that stuff in the paranormal field with when a person passes away and they're suffering from autism or anything. How would they be in the afterlife?
Right.
So there's a lot of things we work.
Yep, exactly. And that's what it's going to take, is a whole bunch of us working together from different fields,
right,
to pinpoint everything. It's not just one specific thing. And you had mentioned earlier the different foundations that the Fear Fest is going to be benefiting. Do you mind taking a moment to talk about, I want to make sure I get this right, the Jessica Marie Pitre Foundation?
Sure. The Jessica Marie Pitre Foundation, it was actually something I started. It was right after my daughter passed away. I was upset. To this day, I have not grieved for my daughter. Because I know she's here. I've seen her. I've seen full body apparitions. She lets me know she's here. Trust me. But I started advocating for pregnant women who were suffering from illnesses, and it just fell on deaf ears. Nobody wanted to hear it. They, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. I hear that all the time. I'm so sorry for your loss, and it gets to the point where, okay, you're sorry for her loss. Well, then support the cause that I'm doing for her. That's what I tell people. But I started advocating, and it, like I said, it just fell on deaf ears. And then I said, you know what? Let's do something about it. And I talked it over with Jackie, and she said, well, you do what you got to do. So I went ahead and started an organization, the Jessica Marie Pitre Foundation. And what we do in our foundation is we help pregnant women who are suffering from perinatal, prenatal, postpartum depression, and mental illnesses. It doesn't matter what's going on in that woman's life. We're there to help. right before myself and Jacqueline got married, I had a young mother call me up, and she was about 7, maybe 8 months along, and she had a 2-year-old little girl, and she was, like I said, she was and the father wasn't nowhere to be found. He left, and I don't get into their personal business. I go out with another person, female. That way, it's all kosher. I don't want to say, oh no, you always want to try to, you got to cover all your bases, and that's for insurance purposes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we went out to her, and her washing machine was broken, and what it was this oil getting into the clothes. It was a seal, and when that happens, it's she was using her dryer as a folding her clothes on. She would hang her clothes outside. She would hang them in the house whenever it's raining and stuff. And to me, having those babies, her expecting and having that 2-year-old, them babies needed clean clothes, the way I see it. And what we do is we take a mother from date of conception to 2 years after their child is born. But I'm get back to this. I pulled out the dryer out of the house, and I looked at it, and I was going to see if I could fix it, but it was burned up. And then the washing machine, I looked at it, and she was upset. And I said, you can calm down, just, calm down, sit down. You can watch me work if you want. If that's fine. Took the back all of it off, and I looked at it. I said, no, this ain't going to work. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go get a part for it. And I think I can fix it. So when I left her, I went to Lowe's, and Lowe's was great company. I think Lowe's and Home Depot. I've worked with both of them. It so happens I went to Lowe's that day. And I was looking just for a wash machine, used one or something. I just tried looking on my, telephone, tried on Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. I didn't see anything that was worthwhile giving to her. So Lowe's went ahead and said, look, who was this for? And they knew what foundation I'm working with and what I'm doing. And they gave me an awesome price for a brand new wash machine and dryer. So I went back and I said, well, can you have it delivered this afternoon? Yes, no problem. They'll deliver it. So I went back and I started tinkering with the wash machine. And I said, you know what? This dryer is no good. We're going to get rid of this dryer. She said, I don't have nothing to put, I said, we can put a little table in here. I was just stalling for time. And then she asked me, I said, well, you know what? This wash machine is no good. And she just started bawling. By that time, when she started bawling, there comes the Lowe's truck. And I said, but I'll tell you what, we got a brand new wash machine and dryer for you. And I took my wedding money, some of my wedding money, and I purchased this. So at first, Jackie was upset with me a little bit because she didn't know what I was spending that money on. And then I told her, she says, yeah, that's fine. She just include me in on some of these things that I'm doing, and it was like, well, it's at the spur of the moment. I had to do it. She said, okay, I understand, but, please let me know what you're doing. We're going to be married. You don't do that we talk to one another. So yeah, okay. And now I talk to her a lot because if you watch the shows, I'm always yelling, Jackie, I'm in the middle of a show. It's what, but anyway, but we take a woman from date of conception to 2 years after their child is born. And the reason being is because that's when postpartum depression usually occurs. I've heard so many horror stories with these, what a woman can do to herself or to their children, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's the body chemistry. They beef up to the point when all the body chemistry is all up. Everything's up, and then when they have their child, everything just drains out. It goes, and that's when that's when you hit the baby blues, postpartum depression. But that's why we're watching for that length of period, because we want to make sure that the mother is safe and that their child is safe. So we have many programs we want to implement. Our ultimate goal is to build a hospital. We want to build a hospital where it caters to pregnant women, and it's not just. In many states, you have two different facilities. You have a mental facility, and then you have a medical facility. And if that lady's in a mental facility, If something happens, they have to basically call an ambulance, take it by ambulance to a medical facility, and by that time, a lot can happen. A lot can happen. So what we want to do is combine those two. We're going to have a mental facility with an on-staff medical facility with operating rooms and whatever needs to be done for that child to be safely born. With medical stuff, nurses, of course, counselors and nurses. It's going to be equal parts,
right,
so they can communicate with one another, and that mother and that child can be safe. And I want to just not put it here in Louisiana, but I want to put one in every state. Now, this type of hospital, people saying, well, yeah, you're looking to make money on that. No, I'm not. This is going to be a 501. It's going to be a nonprofit hospital. It's going to be like a charity hospital. But I will take a woman that she could be a billionaire, and then I'll take a woman that's off the streets, and I'll treat them the same way because they're both mothers, and that's the way it should be. So that's what we want. That's actually what we're looking to do eventually. But like I said, that it's just like I'm saying, like some of the programs we want to implement. Of course, one-on-one counseling, and then we want to implement group therapy for women who are suffering from postpartum depression. Because the way I looked at it, I'm gonna be honest with you, I am an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. I've been sober since January 11th of 2010. And I know Bill. If you want to, if people say they know Bill, I know Bill, and that going to those meetings helps a lot. And you have different people that's in different stages of alcoholism. And my theory is that you can put one woman who's just had a child and she's just beginning to have a postpartum depression, and you might have another mother in there who's just coming out of it, and she can help that woman, guide her. And of course, we have a counselor sitting in there. We're going to also teach infant and child CPR classes, mommy and me classes. We want to implement food and nutrition, which I've already talked to the Culinary Institute down here, where a lot of you great sous chefs come out of, and they're willing to come in and teach classes. Say a woman doesn't like to eat broccoli. Well, there's different ways you can eat broccoli, besides putting some butter on it or eating it raw, But there's different ways you can cook that broccoli where you might actually eat something healthy. And teach a pregnant lady and her significant other. We're also looking at that. We're looking at yoga classes when they're pregnant for breathing and stretching. We want them to learn how to breathe and stretch during their pregnancy, so they'll have a safe delivery. One of the bigger things, and the people laugh at me when I say this, light impact aerobics.
Yep.
And everybody see you just smile, light up, and I was looking at myself in the mirror one day, and I said, I'm 55 years old, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I went, ew. And when I see a pregnant woman, she's gonna look at us, ew. So I feel for her. Right. I know where she's going. No, but that's the joke. I mean, no. What it is that when a woman, instead of just when they're going through after they have their child and they become in that part where they're starting postpartum depression, they just want to sit around and just take the pills and try to, the antidepressants and everything. And that's good, but it's not helping enough. Right. If you get up and actually start moving, you build up those feel-good endorphins. And you start building up that feel-good, energy in you. And that helps that helps with your losing weight and you put yourself back in the condition, physically, but mentally, you actually that is stimulating your brain where you're not falling into that depression is bad. So it's less medications that you have to take. So that's what our theory is on that. So that's one of another classes that we want to teach. Yep. And there's always room to grow. There's always.
Yeah. No, I actually like low impact aerobics. I need to do it more often just because of my knees.
Or down here, we do water aerobics. Hell, I mean, you get it to where it's a flood and a hurricane. We can do it right there in the front yard, man. Shoot. Come on over.
Impromptu classes.
That's right. That's right.
Actually, water aerobics are fun. I love those. Those are.
You actually have to work harder in the water.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's fun. You actually but you're keeping cool because you have the water. It's keeping you cool.
Yep. Yeah, I'd much rather do that than go ride a bike like the doctor tells me to do.
No. We want to make sure it's done right. We're going to have people in there that's going to do these classes correct. So that's the biggest thing and that's what we're raising money for. That's our whole goal. I mean, last year for Christmas, I'm also an actor. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I think I remember you saying that at one point.
Yeah. I've been in the movie, The Thing About Pam with Miss Renee Zellweger, beautiful woman, very sweet. I've been in a movie that's coming out in November, I believe, October, November. It's coming out in Christmas time because it's a Christmas movie, and we filmed that last year. It's called Carry On, and that was with Mr. Taron Egerton, who played Rocket Man and Elton John. He played him. He's also playing the Kingsman and stuff like that. Theo Rossi, who played in Sons of Anarchy.
Yes.
He is such a sweet guy. He plays a villain on television and on the movies, but he's such a nice guy. I mean, good. He's like it's like 1 minute he's like there talking and he's laughing with you and joking, and he's so nice and soft spoken, and then boom, that fast he switches it off. And he's pulling pistols out and he's shooting people and stuff. I'm like, yeah, well, okay. And then Mr. Jason Bateman, which who he is in real life is who you see on television. He does not change. That's who he is. So he's a wonderful person. I did that movie. I did Life and Beth with Amy Schumer, the second season. I did The Winchesters, which is a spinoff from Supernatural. So I did that, and that was fun. I did the episode of which is called Tears of a Clown. That was that episode. I did a Super Bowl commercial, which was in this last Super Bowl. So all the money that I made from these movies that I do, I put back into the foundation. So last year we was able to do about 150 gift baskets. And what we did is we went around to pregnant women in the community and we gave them a gift basket. Because to be honest with you, women who become pregnant, and that's the first thing they say is, I'm getting fat, I feel ugly, I'm worthless, Bob. And we want to assure them they're not fat, they're beautiful. What you're doing is you're bringing in a life into this world, and it's their choice, that they're doing this. They're bringing a life into this world. You're going to be a mother, and we respect you, and we want to give you something to pamper yourself with. We give her some body soaps and oils and stuff like that, and hair care stuff, and just something to make herself feel like she's beautiful. I want these women to feel beautiful because they are beautiful,
right?
And that's what we did this past year. So we try to do something like that every year for Christmas. And then we have a lot of people that are sponsoring us in our community. I mean, our foundation rather. Of course, the Haunted History Tours out of New Orleans. That's Mr. Sidney Smith. If you ever seen something on the History Channel that says Haunted History, and it says New Orleans, that's Sidney Smith. I call him Mr. Paranormal. He endorses not just my team, my investigation team, but he also endorses the foundation. Miss Brandy Kelly, who owns Voodoo Authentica in New Orleans. It's ran by real voodoo priests and priestesses. Oh, and by the way, they're going to have voodoo priests and priestesses at the event, Fear Fest, and they'll be doing voodoo blessings. There's no charge for none of this stuff. You buy that ticket and then you come in, and there you go. You get to meet all these people, all these guest speakers and special guests. You get to voodoo blessing for free. Now the galleries are different. I'm not going to mess with them, psychic women and stuff like that, because I don't want to be telling me when I'm going to die or something. I've already know.
Or they'll start visiting you in the bathroom.
Right. Then we just picked up Whole Foods. Whole Foods is going to be sponsoring. They sponsored the Jessica Marie Pitre Foundation. So, I mean, we do have sponsors and stuff like that, but we're always willing to take more sponsors. And matter of fact, we on called Benevity, Benevity, Benevity. I don't know how you pronounce it. I guess it's a Benevity. You can go and you can find our foundation there. You can find our you can Google us. You can, we even on Yelp. I mean, we're all over the place, man. Look, and we're legitimate, and like I said, our books are always open. We have those sponsors, and which we're proud of, and we thank those sponsors.
Yeah, definitely needed something like your organization when I was pregnant.
And a lot of people say that. I mean, the way I tell people is that, and there's a lot of people like, oh yeah, okay, you helping, okay, that's fine. But if it was your mother and she was pregnant with you, you want help for her if she needed it.
Right.
And of course you would. There was nobody there to help her. Well, we're there to help. That's what we do. Yep,
exactly. Well, thank you for sharing all of that information. I'm going to switch gears on you, and we're going to go back to the paranormal. Just because, being a paranormal show, I have some typical questions I ask my guests just to kind of get the conversation flowing. But one topic that I've been bringing up lately is, if there's one thing about this field that you could change, what would it be?
One thing, people getting along with one another. There's a lot of infighting. There's a lot. God, I mean, people call it para-unity. I call it para-family. People who are on a different I've seen people on different investigation teams. They get a spot that's haunted. Or they stake a claim. They actually stake a claim. You can go to the owner of that establishment or home or whatever, and you can ask them for permission. Oh yeah, come on in. That paranormal teams, oh no, you can't go in there. That's mine. They're teams like that. There's teams that, and in the paranormal field, the way we learn is actually talk to one another. Yep. If you don't talk to one another, then you're not learning anything. If I capture something, you show your evidence, and you present your evidence, and it is for what it is. And of course you're going to get feedback and stuff from that evidence. And that's everybody, but that's what we're looking to do as paranormal investigators. A lot of teams don't do that. They want to hide their evidence, and they want to hide what they've captured. Another thing I frown upon is that they know who I'm talking about when I say this. I'm not going to say no names, because I have a little bit more respect for myself than say a name out there, but there's actually networks out there that promote awards. Best this, best that, best this. Yep. There's nobody best in anything. You could have somebody who just started investigating and starting to learn how to investigate from someone else, and they capture something extraordinary. And you're going to have someone who's been there for 20, 30 years doing this. And of course, they're going to say, oh yeah, we're going to give that award to them, the one who's been here for 20, 30 years, because they've been, and that one person that costs it to me. And then that's where you have people that start hiding stuff. I'm not going to show you what I've captured because I'm high, I want to present that so I can get my award out of this, and this is where I'm not going to tell you where I captured it at or anything like that. Me personally, I love investigating with different teams. The reason being is that I learn the way they investigate, and they learn the way I investigate. And that's how we learn from one another. This is, like I said in the beginning, if someone comes up to you and says they know it all, they're full of crap. Nobody knows it all. They come to you and they tell you that they're a professional, or they're not just professional, but they also what's the word I'm looking for? Experienced, or whatever the case may be. They're full of crap. They have more experience, yes, but they're not going to tell me that they know it all, because I'll call them out on that every time. I'll look at them and I'll just call them flat out. You don't know. You don't even know. Trust me, you don't know. And I know you're a doctor, and you studied parapsychology and everything, and
Oh, I'm the
You know
first to
more-
admit I don't
you-
know it all.
You know more than I do. So if I have a question, I'm going to come to you with it. You know, if it is something like that, it's like I'm a demonologist. If I have a question, I go to my mentor. And I'm not ashamed to say I have a mentor, and I'm not ashamed to say I don't know it all. But I'll go to Carl Johnson. I got Carl on my speed dial. I'll say, Mr. Carl, I got a question for you, and what you got? You know, that's how you help with one another. I did an investigation, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. I had a suspicion, but it was a succubus, and Carl wasn't available, so I called someone that lives in Ireland and asked their opinion on it. And yeah, I'm going to get different feedback from different people, so I know what I'm dealing with before I go back into that household, before I can suggest what we can do or not do in that house.
Right. Yep. Yeah, and I mean, I agree with you 100%, but I truly do think that a lot of this fighting between teams starts at the team level, because I've actually been part of 2 organizations that the leaders of these organizations encourage it. It's almost like they encourage the fighting among team members, and they act more childish than anyone else in the group. And it's just like, if you can't treat your own team with respect, how do we expect the teams to get
It's not just
outside
teams.
of that?
It's not just teams. It's also networks. I've seen that our network, and I'm proud to say this with Paralinks, there is no BS in this network. I mean, we just don't put up with it. We don't want to be, we don't want the drama. We don't want you come and do what you got to do. And we all get along. We help one another. And that's what I like about Parapost. We're working with them. They do have, they have their drama and stuff like that. But when they want to drag us into it, as not just as me personally, but as Paralinks Network, I'll walk away from it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know about it. Nobody's right. Nobody's wrong. I'm not getting involved in it. But we try to be drama free. And I know you and our network. So I mean, what do you think? I mean, you've seen.
In the beginning, there was some drama, and I think that's why we still did our show every 2 weeks. But I kind of withdrew from a lot of the getting to know a lot of the other networks or the other shows on there. And that's just something now that I'm starting to change, and getting to know some of the other hosts, because for a long time there, it's just, we did our show and I was done.
Yeah, we have a lot of great shows out there. We have a lot of great vodcasters out there. And I don't have a favorite. I think they're all great shows. We're bringing in new shows all the time. We're actually expanding our network. Our network is there goes my son. There you go.
At least he was dressed.
Yeah. You got your pants on at least, right? Okay, I'm happy for you. But we're bringing this. We're trying to change our network a little bit more. We're actually looking into doing other things, because we are a network. We're not just, we're a paranormal network. We're Paralinks, okay? But we want to expand outside of the paranormal as well. We want to do some cooking shows. We want to do some sewing shows, music shows. Matter of fact, we just got on Emmy McKenzie and Jay McKenzie. They're going to be coming on, I believe, for 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. I think it's from 12 to 2. I'm not quite sure. I got to go back and look. But they do what they call the Wee Woo Show. And they just sit back and laugh and cut up. And they have a big following on YouTube. So we brought them over to the Facebook side. And they spin the wheel of death, or whatever they want to call it, and they have races and stuff, and you can win things from them. You can win Amazon gift cards, Starbucks coffee cards, and stuff like that. So you just go in there and you put your name in. You have so many 30 seconds to say I'm here, and you can win a $5, $10 gift card. For Starbucks, you can win a $25 Amazon card. It depends. It's different things. I've seen them give away for Christmas time. I've seen them give away $250. Just give it. I mean, just spin the wheel and let's see what happens. And then they do that. So I think it's an awesome show. That it's an awesome idea what they're doing. I'm bringing in another. I mean, we're bringing in shows. Like I said, we're trying to expand. We want to expand. We have room to grow, so just grow it and make it bigger and better.
Yep. And it feels more like a family now than it did in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's definitely come a long way, and I'm still happy to be a part of it.
I'm happy you're there. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, I wish I haven't seen Philip in a long time. I mean, but
He recently had COVID.
Really? Oh man.
Yeah, so he's been he was lucky enough to make the last week's show, but he really wanted to make it because we had the Talking Board Historical Society on. And he really had a lot of questions for them. So that's why he joined, even though he wasn't feeling good.
Well, I've heard stuff from different networks and stuff, and I'm not going to go out there and boast anything, but one of the bigger ones I heard, and is a friend of mine. She had some problems, and she left a big network. So look at her cooking show. Yeah, you need it, Jen. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, they do. As a matter of fact, I was watching a cooking show last night, and it's a paranormal cooking show. And I said, well, you know what? I might do a cooking show too. I know how to cook. I mean, I cook a little something here and there. I have people always wanting my gumbo, man. They always say, you want? I made a big pot Fear Fest in Kansas, and that was Steven's second Fear Fest, and I made it was a cauldron. I made a cauldron full of chicken sausage and open gumbo. I had people loving that stuff, man. Look, we had Mustafa Galatwa from 80s Ghost Hunters there, and he just got off the plane. He was laying down. I said, "You want some gumbo?" He said, "Oh yeah, man." He just kept eating it. He kept eating. Went back for like the third bowl. He said, "I'm going to lay down to go to nap." It's okay if I put the screen up so you can go lay on this sofa so people wouldn't see him go and take a nap. I said, hey, "Go ahead, brother. Go take your nap. I know you're feeling it now. That gumbo sneak up on you, make you go sleepy." But I had people who had a little bit in the pot left, and they took it home in Ziploc bags and stuff. They'd taken it home with them. I said, good Lord.
What you need to do is do a cooking show, and then right after have a how to repair your kitchen if you burn it down while cooking.
There you go, Jen.
So have a home repair show afterwards.
Have a fire extinguisher on hand. I can't say nothing about Jennifer. I mean, she's a good woman and everything. My wife, I love her to death. I tell you what, that poor woman can burn water. She can burn water. I mean, she don't cook. She'll tell you, I don't cook. I do the cooking. So I had made somebody a good wife. I did. I made somebody a good wife. So I'm off the market, ladies.
Yeah, I know when I was younger, I used to be able to burn water, and my mom bought me. Remember when the books For Dummies were popular? She bought me Cooking for Dummies, and I learned how to cook from there.
You got to learn somewhere. I mean,
I actually still have the book too.
I've learned to cook from my grandmother and my great grandmother, and then my mom. I mean, I used to sit there and watch my grandmother make. And I can call them this because they married into my family. They're Dagos, Italians. They're Dagos. We call them Dagos. I've seen my grandmother sit in the kitchen make these meatballs by hand. And I mean, these are what those little big freaking meatballs you find in a can of SpaghettiOs either. I mean, these were meatballs you could make 2 or 3 sandwiches out of that thing. And she make, like 3 or 4 dozen of this. I mean, she used about 30 pounds of ground meat just making meatballs. And she would make her own sauce and everything. And I'd watch her do it. And that old woman can cook. I wish she was still alive to this day. I go see her and I visit her. When I visit Jessica, they're all buried in the same place. But Lord, I mean, today I'm going to be making smothered potatoes and roast. And smothered potatoes that consist of, and people saying, oh yeah, what you doing, mashed potato? No, you mashed potato, you done messed up already. You want to slice them potatoes up like you frying them for French fries or something, and then you you just layer it in your pot. You want to go onions, potatoes. You got, of course, this. If you got high cholesterol, don't even attempt to making this stuff. I mean, because that's why I'm in the shape I'm in now. But yeah, I make, and then you just let it sit and you just let it cook down, and then you don't you just stir it. You don't mash it, and you got big chunk, and it makes its own. Oh my! And you put a little garlic in there. Oh man!
He's making me hungry too, Lee.
I mean, I know how to cook. I made some for my wedding, for our wedding. I did all the the catering. I made the chicken sausage and okra gumbo. I made jambalaya. I made shrimp etouffee. I had potato salad. I had it on rice. I had it all out there. And then people were like, and it was time to eat. They just, we also smoked a couple of roasts. My brother, he does a lot of smoking meats and stuff with his homemade. He's got a thing outside where he smokes meat. And we smoked a couple of Boston butts out there. And we sliced it up, and it was so juicy. And oh my Lord, people eat that. People were full. I said, get to go plates too. Come on, let's get it going. I don't want to bring this stuff home. And I still brought home food. So I mean, it was they ate, they drank, they had a good time at the wedding. So yeah, I know how to cook.
Yeah, definitely do a cooking show. You're making me hungry.
And there's nothing I don't know how. I mean, if I don't know how to cook it, I'll learn it. I mean, I'll definitely.
Exactly. Jamie says she's a foodie, and you're going to make, you got to stop, or her simple dinner tonight is going to end up being a gourmet meal.
Oh, I'm Cajun.
While you're talking, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, I think I'm going to make my pizza meatballs tonight. When you were talking about
I actually was experimenting. Ladies, y'all can try this. It's called chicken pizza. Okay. And people think, oh, you put it on a pizza. No, you done messed up already. You want to get some boneless breast of chicken. Okay. And you're going to slice it. You're going to stuff that chicken. First, you're going to get you some basil pesto. And you're going to put some basil pesto in that thing. And then you're going to get you some sausage, pepperoni. And you're going to stuff pepperoni on that thing. And then you're going to stuff mozzarella cheese in there. Now, when you stuff it, you want to make sure it's stuffed, because you're going to put toothpicks in this thing to hold it together. And then you bake that in the oven. Okay. And so it's almost done. Not quite. You know, I suggest about maybe 370, 375 for about maybe 45 minutes. And then you're going to take it out of the oven, and then you're going to put a marinara sauce on that. Okay. And then after you put your marinara sauce, you're going to put some more mozzarella cheese on top of my chicken, because it's going to be, you want to make sure you got a lot of marinara sauce on that thing. And on top of that chicken, I put provolone cheese, because I like that crunchy, you know, when it bakes and it gets kind of hard. I like it when I love provolone. You can put any type of cheese you want, but that's what I put, provolone. And then you put it in, let it finish out baking it out like that. And you get you some angel hair pasta, and you put that on a plate. Put a little garlic on your angel hair pasta, because I mix mine with a little garlic salt. You know, I like to put the seasoning in my food rather than you have to put salt and pepper on it. So I put a little garlic salt on it, and then of course I live by Tony Sash. I mean, not Tony Sash. Zatarain's all season. On top of it, make sure you season your marinara. Bake that, take it out, take the toothpicks out, put the pizza chicken to the side, and you take the marinara sauce and you sprinkle it on top of your angel hair pasta. Oh my Lord, your husband's never going to leave you. He's going to be like faithful. He's going to be sitting at the door. When you going to cook that pizza chicken, baby? You know, that's what he's going to do. And it's real easy, and it's real simple, and it's delicious.
I might have to try that tonight instead.
It's very easy, and it's delicious. It's very delicious. People say, you know, I come up with different strange foods like that all the time. I'll experiment on my son. You see, he ain't missed a meal. And Jackie, you know, I make fun of Jackie so much. Good Lord. I go around and I hold the door open for her now. And she, why are you doing that? Oh, you're so sweet. No, I don't want you hurting Junior. Well, she had a hysterectomy. She ain't never going to get pregnant. And I had a vasectomy. So it'd be a miracle that she gets pregnant. But she's getting a belly on her, you know. And I like a chunky woman. I'm sorry. That's my personal preference. But my poor wife, she got no butt. I mean, it's like nothing there. It's like school kids' butt. I mean, it's like, baby, you got to get some butt on you. And but she's getting chunky, and she's like, I hold it. Don't hurt. I don't want to upset Junior. Come on. and she'll slap the hell out of me. Oh,
Cooking with the paranormal, exactly, Jamie.
yeah, that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to do some cooking shows, some fishing shows, stuff like that. We're looking to expand music shows. When I mean by music shows, people talking about instruments or how to play different, guitar or something like that. Or even if you want to just listen to music, and, if you want to, I'm open. Matter of fact, I'm talking to a guy. He's got 35,000 YouTube followers, and I'm going to be bringing him over. And the only thing he does, he goes into abandoned buildings. Him and his partner, and they just explore abandoned buildings. Of course, being paranormal investigators, we're interested in that because there could be something in that abandoned building.
Right.
So, of course, that's what we're looking to do with that. So,
Perfect. Yeah, many exciting things to come. So looking forward to the different things you guys have planning. And like I said, I'm still working on getting out there for Fear Fest this year. If not, definitely next year.
No, you get a boat. I'll send a P road to you or something.
I could probably swim there faster than if I were to drive. But anyway, and
she's saying this lady, Leah, said, "Don't let my wife meet." Look, I'm covered. I got me a gree bag. Protection. This is made by a voodoo priest. Just smell the herbs and stuff they put in it.
Yep.
That's Miss Anne. Miss Anne, I was just talking about you being at Fear Fest this year.
Yep. Yeah, I know she's one of our show hosts on WLTK-DB Talk Radio, and I've listened in a few moments that I've had, and I can't wait to actually sit down and listen to one of her whole shows.
I love Anne. I love all my people. I mean, matter of fact, Anne was the one who actually married me and my wife. She did the ceremony. She sure did. She was crying more than, and I was like, why? You're not the one getting married. I am, I didn't be crying. But she was crying. We had a good time. We had a great time. And we partied it up and everything. I think, we did have a great time. Love you too. I do.
Yep.
So.
And just catching up on comments. And so, thank you, Howard, again for joining me this morning. It's been a great chatting with you and catching up.
Thank you very much for having me on.
I always love hearing what new projects you have going on. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget, we will not be here next week because I have some training to do. But in 2 weeks, I'll return with a special guest and to be here to answer all of your paranormal questions. So thank you again for watching Explore the Paranormal, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.